are live. Here we go. Ciro,
Cool.
how you doing, my man?
Cool, Joe. You well?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain. Yeah, we some interesting times. I mean, they sent us a mail this afternoon saying, we're 15 on the top 20 podcasts to watch.
I read that and I got nervous. I was like, geez, now this famous guy is like top 15 like podcast. And after this, you're going to go to top 5.
Exactly. That's the goal. It's all on you, bro. It's all on you.
Right.
Listen, you are one seriously interesting dude. All right. So besides for the fact that we're talking about a TV show and you do a restaurant, your Facebook page is covered in Lambos and Ferraris and what's this Lambo pizza delivery? Supercar delivery? What is that all about?
Supercar pizza delivery. So about 5 years ago, I've got one of my guys is a videographer, and he goes to me, we need to start doing some YouTube videos with the cars you guys have around the hotel, and we need to find like something that brings it together, which people find interesting. I was like, okay, well, the hotel, the restaurant's famous for pizzas locally. In the last 10 to 12 years, we've become famous for our car shows and the supercars and stuff. So I was like, how about delivering pizzas in a supercar? So Supercar Pizza Delivery was born. The first 2 episodes, first one was our Lamborghini Gallardo Spider. That was the very first episode, and that was our car. The second episode, I own a 1994 Ferrari 348 CS, and I had a local influencer, Instagram famous friend of mine, Lenny, the geezer, who was on there with me as well, and we delivered to a couple of businesses, and that was really cool. And then from that, people started saying, hey, do you want to use my car for a Supercar Pizza Delivery? And it just rolled from there. Like Bentley, Cambridge have given me a brand new Bentley a couple of times to do a little promo video for them, but also delivering pizzas in their car. And yeah, we're on episode 18, I think. So all good. We're filming another one in a couple of weeks.
That is insane. I mean, some things are okay. Well, look, basically it means that if you've got a supercar, you can do anything. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. But you're not going to make money delivering pizzas in supercars. You're not going to make money.
That's true. Can you imagine the fuel bill that you would be running there?
Exactly.
So, yeah. You've just traveled the US completely, doing a show with EBC. Am I right?
So EBC Brakes are a local business to me. So we're in Bedfordshire. They're in Northamptonshire. They're made in Britain, and they're a huge global force in brakes. And over the last 2-3 years, so Gannon, who does the EBC Brakes videos with me, he came over May 2018 to film with Power Nation TV. Power Nation TV, we're doing a spot on EBC Brakes, but we're going to Santapod. Santapod is the European capital for drag racing, literally 10 minutes from my hotel. So this production company got in touch with me and said, hey, we want to stay at your hotel. We've seen on your website you do stuff with exotics. Can we kind of like stay at the hotel, but have you got anything going on? And I was like, hold up, if you come a week earlier, you'll be here when we do my Supercars and Caffeine event, which is literally 80 plus Lambos, 200 supercars, and you guys will have the best time ever. So they checked in on the Sunday night. Monday we had the event. They filmed it all, and they kind of realized what we had at the hotel. So on top of their EBC filming and their EBC Santapod filming, they also filmed a Supercar Pizza Delivery with us. We're in an Audi R8 V10. They filmed some shenanigans in a classic Fiat 500 and a classic Mini. And that's where I met Gannon, because he was their TV host. So me and him hooked up. We kept on talking, reaching out to each other across the pond. And then the EBC things came about, where we said to EBC, look, Gannon's out of contract with Power Nation. Me and Gannon want to put something together for you. We've got this great event in Italy we can go to. So we literally flew into Italy, hired a Maserati Gran Cabrio, and did 4 days filming culture, lifestyle, supercars. And EBC have got over 3-4 million impressions and hits off the back of it.
You kidding me?
No, man.
That's insane. And you guys are now doing season 2. You guys just finished your season 2. I mean, and this time you went to the States, eh?
Yeah, so Gannon came over to visit me, and for like the Americans, I guess like Europe, Italy, England is the same thing because it's like hopping a flight between the two. But this time I went over to the States, and I surprised Gannon with what Italy had to offer. He had no idea how crazy it was going to be, and the places from Portofino to Bologna and going to the Lamborghini factory and things like that. So he had it all in his remit now to surprise me in America. And yeah, I've never been off-roading before. The first thing we did in episode 1 is off-roading, and I nailed it.
I saw you did that some massive hill.
Wildcat Off-Road have got 2,400 acres of land, and Terry was our host. We stayed with him. We lived in his RV in his house for like 3-4 days, and he owns the place. And he just said, "Yeah, sure." These ATVs were brand new out of his garage. They weren't brand new. They looked brand new. His wife cleans them every time they take them out, and they literally look brand new. So I got this yellow ATV, and I was like, "So what do we do?" And I'm sitting at the bottom of the hill, and Gannon's saying, "No, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it." And it looked scary. I've never done it before, but I just thought I've just got to drive through it, put foot down, hit it, go. And when I got to the top, I was like, "Wow, I did it!" And like apparently, it's one of the most difficult ones to do. And to do it first time, I was like, my first time off-roading, and I've nailed it. That was amazing. But
Yes.
it just gets crazier. We would have had these episodes out earlier if it hadn't been for COVID. We had a meeting this afternoon, and episode 2 is private jets, RVs, and we're flying into the American spaceport and New Mexico. So it's just like levels on levels. But the best thing is EBC Brakes can make and do make brakes for all of these. So the ATVs, side-by-sides, they make brakes for pilot seats on private jets. They make brakes for RVs. They make brakes for trains. They make brakes for everything.
So I love how you guys have done this promo where you guys can link EBC in with everything that you're doing. I mean, it just shows how versatile a brand can actually really be. You know, you wouldn't even think about with all these things that you're doing and the fact that you've got one brake company that basically links up everything.
Yeah, no, it's truly awesome. Like I had no idea how big EBC were till May 2018. I knew of the name, but being Italian, I kind of think of Brembo, Ferrodo. And when you go to some of the shops, that's all they stock. But then it was kind of like a light bulb moment when EBC came to the forefront for me. And then it was kind of like I'm seeing them everywhere. And then when I started getting into the niche markets, you realize that you've got people that like the ATV market are buying EBC. The custom houses, like we've just had a big brake kit built for my wife's 2007 Mustang, and EBC had the car in for 2 months, and they designed and built this kit. And it looks amazing. I put pictures up of it on some of the forums, and the guys are going, "I buy this from." And so you kind of realize the brand's out there. It's huge. Like you guys know it out in South Africa as well. And they're big for motorbikes. They're big for speed bikes and things like that as well. And the car market, they're just starting to really take a hold of it. And yeah, so versatile as a company because they'll build it and design it for anything.
Yeah, we actually that project that you and I spoke about, that Win My Ride. That's actually everything went and laid down during lockdown. Basically, we couldn't build cars, so I know they ramping that up again. I think from this week. So we still need to finalize all those things. Now the other part, because I must have now. Oh, sorry. So I watched that little promo on season 2, probably 15 times already. And then I see that there's a little box standing behind you. You met my friends at Big Red.
Yes, man. Yes. This was amazing because it was really funny. So we were at the cocktail evening on the opening night, and we hadn't really met anybody other than people that we already knew, and having a drink, watching things going on, etc. And as Mr. Gottlieb himself came over to me and just introduced himself and said hi, and I was like, I'd kind of already earmarked him to go over to him the next day and in the field kind of talk to him, and he came over to me and said hi. And it's just amazing how things happen like that in life, where he came over to me and he kind of goes, "Your face is familiar." And I was like, "No, you don't know me. I'm from the UK." He goes, "No, I swear your face is familiar. We got over that." he didn't know who I was, but yeah, we got talking. He was like, come over to the car, give you an interview. We did a whole piece on Big Red, and they really loved the fact that, you know, we gave them so much kind of airtime. That's going to come up in one of the episodes. We can't show all of it because
Of course not.
our episodes are 5 minutes long and it's got to be snappy and fast moving and action. But just everything he told me about that car, the history of it, he welcomed me in as like a member of the family for that 20 minutes I was with him. And then they gave me that as a memento, some T-shirts, hats, everything. It was amazing. And that car it's got its own Amazon series, for flip's sake.
I know. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think I'm actually I'm one of those guys where as soon as people start talking about cars and hill clubs, like, but do you know Big Red? Have you heard of Big Red? You know, everything is Big Red. I'm actually seeing RJ, the son who's the driver. He's coming onto the show in the next few weeks.
Right. So that's it. It was RJ that I interviewed and spoke to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
RJ.
nice.
Yeah, he's busy racing. He's put one of those massive sim racing kits in his office.
Right. Okay.
And he's been practicing sim racing like you can't believe. But this is the level that he's doing it. He actually has Big Red in the game. So
the thing was, like, he explained how the different race and different events they go to warrant a different engine and different setup, and everything's set up so different for each event. So, you know, how does he do that in the game? I guess he just flicks a button and like it magically becomes what he needs it to be. Yeah,
exactly.
But that car, if you see that car, literally, I love my Lambos, I love my supercars, and I can literally sit like Horatio Pagani admiring his works of art. I can sit and look at Big Red from every angle. It's just astonishing. And because when you're looking at it, it's not just what it is, it's what it represents. And it's that heritage and everything it's achieved. And the fact it goes so far back for that family, that metal has got so much love and hard blood, sweat, and tears entwined into that metal. It's an amazing piece of machinery.
Exactly. But now, the one place I saw, you guys went and saw is it the biggest RV scrapyard in the world or something like that?
So going back to our friends at the off-road park, he also owns an RV park, but he's got an RV business. So that's their business. They sell brand new RVs, scrap RVs. They scrap them and they sell parts for them. So they've got this massive facility, and I know that aeroplane like junkyards exist, but I never even thought of an RV one. But then for that to be our host, yeah, really cool. But then, so the RV we had in New Mexico was actually an ex-Pussycat Dolls RV. It was their tour bus, and that one there, when we get to episode 4, we set a land speed record in it.
Nice.
There was about 9 or 10 passengers eating crisps, drinking soft drinks, going down the strip, setting a land speed record. I've got it here. There it is, land speed record.
You kidding me? That is awesome.
And the brilliant thing was, going back to the EBC, we were talking to the technician and we recorded all the conversations with the technician for what the RV had to do and like technical details to ensure that it fitted the class they were putting it into. Now, we were always going to set a record because nobody had tried to set a record in that type of class before. So whatever we did, there was a heavy headwind that day. I think we did about 75 miles per hour. We were hoping to get 90, but it was a strong headwind. That technician saw that I was wearing an EBC hat, and he said to me, he goes, "What's your link up with EBC?" And I said, "Oh, you know, we're filming for them this week. We've been here, we're doing this and that." He goes, "I attended a trade show in mid-'80s, and at this trade show, there was a guy with EBC brakes, and I had a kind of obscure, kind of rare motorbike at the time, and I just got into conversation with a guy. I goes, 'Well, would you have pads for this bike?' And he goes, 'There was very little chance that he had them. And the guy just said, try these. And he said to me, I've been a customer ever since.
Holy shit.
And I've now found out that was the owner of the company that was that guy at the trade stand. So the fact that we've even got that interview on footage, I'm going to send to the owner of the company now. That's going to blow him away. And that's
insane.
And that's part of their ethos still. They'll be at trade shows, they'll talk to people, they'll give you advice, and they've got blue stuff, red stuff, green stuff, yellow stuff. The Grand Voyager I run as a daily for the family and stuff, they've got their black pads. They're not yellow, blue, red, but they're their standard pads, but they're actually the best ones for this type of vehicle. So it's insane, the just complete variety they have. I lost my thread. What were we talking about?
That happens to me all the time. Don't worry. No, you were telling us about the RVs and stuff.
So with the RV, they literally, what you see on that screen when you see that, that's 25% of the overall RV park. They've got other areas with more and more. It's absolutely mad. And the worst thing was that a tornado tore through the whole complex about 15 years ago. And you've seen the pictures on the office wall, and it totally decimated it. Decimated their warehouses, completely ruined the whole business. But they built it up again.
Go check out, there's a video of it. Ring Brothers got Winnebago.
Right.
Twin turbo. LS.
Wow. Ring Brothers, Winnebago, twin turbo.
Yeah, twin turbo. I think they're putting a twin turbo into it now. But there's a video of them doing a burnout.
I'll be sending that to the guy that owns the RV park then, because they were talking about they've set the 75 miles an hour in this one now. We're going to go back next year and set even a bigger top speed so nobody can take the record from him.
Well, then I'm going to have to get the guys from Ring Brothers in there because they're going to have to bring their LS1, you know. I mean, let's start some RV racing, drag racing. That would be insane.
Yeah, while you've got a load of people sitting there drinking and eating, yeah.
It's like, someone passed the scotch. Just hold on, there's a pub coming. Yeah.
It was actually Don Juan. It was a 19-something. It was a really good tequila that we went 3 bottles for the whole weekend, and they were drinking it during the day because they had a driver. So the driver drove, and those guys just chilled and drank. We were filming, so we didn't really drink. But hey, our life.
It's hard being in front of the cameras every now and then. People don't understand the struggle, bro.
No. you got to stay sober. You can't eat too much.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the mic's always
you gotta
on.
Look pretty the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
So you own some supercars. What cars do you own?
We've had the Lamborghini Gallardo Spider 2007. Owned that from 2009 to 2019. Plan was to sell that last year. It's getting not old, but just got to a point where I'd had it 10 years, and I wanted to move up into Lamborghini Aventador. In that time, I've become Lamborghini Club UK membership secretary, and the club meet at my hotel regularly, and they attend and support my events as well as I attend the club events around the UK. I know pretty much 75% of all the UK Lamborghini dealers around the UK as well. So I've kind of become synonymous with Lamborghini. It's how my blood runs. Lamborghini. Fabio Lamborghini, the nephew of Ferruccio, became a friend of mine 7-8 years ago. We went over to Italy to visit a friend, Rory Byrne. He's up there on my above the steering wheel.
On the wall, yeah.
Yeah. So Rory Byrne is South African. He is Michael Schumacher's aerodynamicist for Benetton and Ferrari, and he designed all of Michael Schumacher's winning cars. But we went out to visit him in 2013 to discuss the retirement party at the hotel. And me and my cousin went out there. And when we were at the hotel that Rory had recommended in Maranello, picked up a little leaflet about Lamborghini Museum. And it wasn't on our radar. We hadn't even hired a car. But my cousin goes, well, you love Lamborghini. While we're in Maranello, we'll do the Ferrari stuff, but let's go to this museum. So then we did hire a car. And calling this guy and said, "Oh, I want to come down to the museum." He goes, "Yeah, we can meet you there 2:30 tomorrow." I was like, "Okay, what's your name?" He goes, "Mr. Lamborghini." I was like, "You what? Mr. Lamborghini?" I was like, "Sorry, Mr. Lamborghini." He goes, "Yeah, Fabio Lamborghini." I was like, "I'm talking to Mr. Lamborghini." It's Ferruccio's nephew. So we drove out to the museum, and he's outside waving us down because it wasn't the current museum; it was a smaller, older one. And we're just like, "Wow, he's actually here," and he's showing us around himself. So we got a tour of the museum, my cousin and I, with Fabio Lamborghini.
Crazy.
But it was the level of insight, the level of information, his experience, because he used to work for the factories as well, and he was around his uncle who was building his business up. And so there were tractors. There's a helicopter in there. Ferruccio Lamborghini built a helicopter. He went at the Italian market for helicopters. There was only one other competitor in Italy at the time, and he was building a helicopter to go at the market and show that he could build a better helicopter. And he got shut down by the Italian government because there was a no competition kind of situation. So that one helicopter is in the family museum.
Can you imagine what that thing's worth? Eh?
There's air conditioning in there as well. There's air conditioning units. He was a true industrialist. And while we're on the subject of Ferruccio, I know that Hollywood are making a movie. I think Antonio Banderas is playing Ferruccio Lamborghini.
Oh wow!
It's talked about for about 2-3 years. I know from Fabio that they've started rolling and started shooting, but that's going to be really cool. I know they're doing an Enzo Ferrari movie as well. But obviously the Ferruccio Lamborghini one's going to be really interesting. And it will show the industrialist, the entrepreneur he is, and moving through to when they build the Miura and those years. But going back to the museum visit, sorry.
No problem.
From that meeting, he took us around. I also sent a couple of friends there on visits. And then from that, we saw him every other year. And then he came over to my hotel and was a guest for our 10th anniversary event, and we unveiled a restored Lamborghini tractor that I'd bought. So that was all awesome. And then from that, Valentino Balboni became a friend, and pretty much spent a week with Valentino last year at the hotel, then over in Italy, and then we also had dinner with Rory Byrne. And he asked me, "Oh, you're going to dinner with Rory? Can I come with you?" I was like, "Valentino, Rory, what an amazing dinner!" And so we went to the Montana restaurant in Fiorano Maranello, which is the place to go. All the F1 drivers, anybody goes for dinner there. There's napkins all around where people have signed it, like Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's F1 drivers that have been there. There's proper F1 memorabilia everywhere. So we're having dinner on our first night in Italy. Myself, Gannon, we're there filming, our camera crew, Valentino and Rory at the dinner table. Amazing.
That's like a whole section of bucket list things, just like ticking, you know. It's like one night, just we wrapped up column A. Yeah.
And the food was amazing too.
The fact that you could actually sit there, I'd probably just sit there with my mouth open, just staring at them the whole time, you know, just trying to make the moment surreal.
I literally did, because so Valentino's obviously trying to impress Rory. Valentino was in awe of Rory. Rory knew who Valentino was, and they were kind of in awe of each other, but they had two very different lives, because one was Ferrari and one was Lamborghini. And so Valentino would tell stories, and we're just like, wow, and like how Valentino used to walk through the car park in the morning at 7 in the morning with Horacio Pagani, who'd started working for Lamborghini, and they'd walk to the factory together from the car park. And then Horacio would be always one of the last to leave the factory. He'd be one of the first back in, and he'd be showing Valentino drawings. And he's like, Valentino's like, "Don't you sleep at night?" He goes, "No, I'm just too many things to do, too much to do." And he was working on the Countach at the time.
Sheesh.
The stories
I've
phenomenal.
I love that. I love the backstories. That we with the magazine. I mean, with writing articles and this type of stuff. That's the whole thing. I've always been fascinated by every form of story, because there's just so much. There's so much information. Lamborghini, if you look at him and his design, I mean, obviously he had the fight with Enzo, which got the car thing going. But I mean, from industrialist, he got involved in anything. He's like someone like Elon Musk is at the moment. It just puts his mind going that way. And I'm gonna make this better and then go. And there it is. A few months later, it just starts rolling out. The way their brain works just completely blows my mind.
Yeah, really. I mean, driven, and just because financially, the financial story of Lamborghini wasn't great, and so in 1974 he had to sell out because of the tractor business going under. And the whole story there was, I think, Colombia or Bolivia had put in an order for hundreds of tractors, a huge order for them, and but they wanted them all delivered at the same time, not in dribs and drabs. So they couldn't do, let's do 100, then 100. They wanted 1,000, but all in one go. I don't know the exact figures. The president of that country died in a helicopter crash, and they cancelled the order, and that hit Lamborghini massively, and it was the oil crisis at the same time. So that ruined it financially. But if you go back to end of the Second World War, all the American machinery's been left behind, etc. He goes and grabs that and makes tractors from it. He starts putting everybody in an industrial revolution, from farming with horses and donkeys and carts to making it affordable to own a tractor in Italy. And I've got 2 of those tractors.
That's changing the world, man. That's completely changing the world. That's the big thing. When you sit and you talk about people like that, I mean, when people sit back and they criticize people for what they've done, to look at someone and that scale of change that's happened. I mean, I read up on years ago, because I did a function, that Champion is the company that invented spark plugs.
Yeah.
Okay. And which is completely amazes me, because Champion's nowhere where they should be, for the company that started it. And I had a meeting with the head of marketing in South Africa for Champion the one day, and because I said to them, why aren't they focusing a lot on their history? And it's like, yeah, they're looking at forward. And I'm like, yeah, but dude, you started it.
Yeah.
If Champion didn't make the spark plug, combustion engines wouldn't be there. Yeah. That is such a big story all on its own.
And they need to celebrate that.
Exactly. So what's next? Now, so you shot season 2. Now you're going on to
season 2 for EBC Breaks, and what we've done is evolved. We used our friends here in Bedford, Limelight TV, and Don, who is Limelight TV. Mm-hmm. He's got this. In the last 6-7 years since we've been working together, I've been helping him build his brand. He's been helping me. We have a really good relationship, and kind of like, it's just what we filmed in Italy and what we just filmed in America. There's 4 of us. There's us 2 as presenters, and there's 2 camera guys. The audio is clip-on mics, as you know, but we direct our own stuff as well. So we produce it, direct it, and we've created Carnuts Productions. Now, there's 2 things we want to achieve with Carnuts Productions. We can do what we do for EBC for other companies, like, for instance, Continental Tires or NGK or somebody like, and create lifestyle videos which shows off their products. And we go out there and create watchable material. The other thing we want to do is, I've got a meeting tomorrow morning where we've got 2 or 3 different TV shows on the table, where we've got a new ethos, a new view on car culture, not just UK, not just US, but globally. So we've got 2 packages available that we can put together, which takes Carnuts to the next level. And that's what we're working on. It's all about real cars and real people for us, and we want to get out there on the road, no studio, and discover things and show people how accessible all this is. If you flew to Bologna tomorrow in Italy, you get yourself a hotel for 3 nights, you can visit the Pagani factory, and you may even see Horatio walking around you. You can visit the Lamborghini factory, do a tour and see the museum. You can see Ducati factory, Maserati. You can do all this in 3 days. And that's how accessible it is. And that's all we're doing is going to events, meeting people, showing the history, showing the heritage, and bringing real stories to life, but entwining it in lifestyle. So we've got some interest from different people. We've got a casting director out in LA that loves us. He's good friends with Gannon, but he loves what we do. So literally this afternoon had another meeting to redo our show reel, bring in some of the American stuff we've done, as well as all the stuff I've previously done with Supercar Pizza Delivery, as well as my car shows, as well as some of the racing that Gannon does. And that's what it is. American racing driver, Italian car nut. We just come together. It's great. We love each other as brothers, and we get on, and I think that comes across on screen. So that's what we want to do. We've got a few people out there, but we're just going to keep putting it out there till we get the right deal.
But listen, when I come through to the UK, I'm going to come check out this hotel and everything of yours, man.
Yeah, well, we're there in a normal kind of scenario where we're holding at least 2 events every month from March through to September, which is obviously UK kind of weather when it's a slightly better. But we can do everything from, we start the breakfast meeting. The breakfast meeting is everything, supercars, classics, American, a real mix. We meet at the hotel, 250 people have breakfast together. Then we get in the cars, drive to the local civil airport, Sidewell Airport. And then I've got control of the runway there. So we have a big group photograph on the runway. And then up to about 40 cars will have unlimited runs down the runway. So hitting about 150 to 180, whatever they can get in their cars. But you get guys doing it in their Fiesta STs because they just want to like enjoy the runway. You get people doing it in their Lamborghini Aventadors or McLarens. It's just an amazing mix of people and cars. But then from that, we go into the Corvette Nationals. We have our American Day. We have our Italian Day. We have a Supercars and Caffeine where we raise at least £50,000 for children's charity. Then we have our Supercar Sunday in September. We have our Modifieds Day. All of these are our specific events. But then monthly, I have the Ferrari Club on a monthly basis. I have a Porsche Club on a monthly basis. But it was all about diversifying the business. So as a hotel, we do loads of weddings. We do loads of conferences. Then sometimes when you got Sunday and Monday when business dips a little bit, you bring them in because of their car and passion. And then we built the Petrol Hedonism brand to kind of...
Love that, by the way. Love that word, petrol.
Yeah, well, it's petrol head, and then you got hedonism, kind of sexual. So we kept the head with the HEAD for the petrol head.
Yeah.
But hedonism gives you that kind of like mysterious je ne sais quoi, kind of like a sexual thing about how guys get about their cars. And girls get about their cars too now.
I know when we read up everything, because my wife's British, that's why I said I need to come over to the UK. I think I'm coming there next year to come see some of her family. So then I'll definitely give you a call and come see what we can get up to. But yeah, when I saw the name Petrol Hedonism, I'm like, she had to break it up and then explain it to me because I'm like really South African. She's like, something sexual. I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Your wife had to break it down for you. That's brilliant. I was trying to find something because the Schaumburg Hotel, our hotel, has become like such a draw for people with cars over the years. We've been doing events since 2007. And in the UK, I'm really proud of the fact that most people that are involved in cars know who we are. But it's like Ace Cafe on the A406 in London has got its massive following.
Yeah.
Now got Caffeine and Machine in the UK, which is kind of Middle England, and they've got a great following. And their marketing is unbelievable, and they're brilliant at what they do. But literally, the place runs for petrolheads every night, every lunch, every morning. They've got different people coming in with cars, and that's great. But I couldn't become that. I need to be my wedding venue. I need to be everything for everybody. So when I was trying to find something so I could kind of build a mini website for the car stuff to take it away from what the hotel does, I was trying to find like Car Mecca or Petrol Heads, cut something, find a word. And I was talking to this guy, and he'd invited me up to see his new Pagani that was being unveiled. And when I went up there, he had his Pagani, his Aventador SV, his Rolls Royce Black Badge. He had this garage with 9 amazing cars in it. And in the back of my mind, I'd still been playing with what shall I call, what's the umbrella brand, what's the name of it? And in a message, and I still have that message to him, I just wrote the phrase, "This was a total day of petrol hedonism." And then the next message was like, "You've just created my brand." In that moment that I've said that word, I've created the brand. And then the Facebook page and Instagram page grew from that as well. And then we call it a club, but it's a mythical club. I don't have membership fees. You just belong. And so one of the hashtags is driven real cars, real people. That's what it's all about. And we just bring people together.
Listen, I love that. To be honest, I am not a fan of car clubs at all. I always believe the only good thing about a car club was meeting other guys' wives. Okay, that was it. The rest of the time, it was just a bunch of bitching and moaning and pissing contests the whole time. I've never been part of a car club that actually everything went well. To me, what you're saying there makes way more sense. Where it's just a bunch of car guys that get together and you run under a banner. There's no official sitting and have to take meetings and discussing and right. It's just guys that love cars.
Yeah. So I'm part of 9 car clubs, and I was happy to become part of the 9 car clubs because we bought a Mustang, so I enrolled my wife in the Mustang club. I bought a Corvette, so I was in the Corvette club. Was Lambo. The first car club I ever joined was the Fiat 500 club. And I remember, even as a member, how much politics and bullshit there was. But there was always issues. Yeah, and the chairman at the time, he drove my 1964 Fiat 600 and told me it was sluggish and it needed this. By the time he'd finished driving it from literally around my car park, I needed to spend £2,500 on a car that I did less than 500 miles a year in. So I was like, oh, what's all this about? Once I kind of scratched the surface and I told one of the other members, it got back to committee level and they'd found out that he was literally pushing his business on members. And so then it all got really political and I was like, wow. So from that, I just stayed very far from anything political, but I enjoyed being invited to events and going along and meeting people. And that's what our shows have become, is like a network where people get just to meet people. And the amount of people I've met, like yourself, all over the world now, that I just have one thing in common. It's the passion. You don't have to be signed up to a membership. It's been great to meet people. I'm now, having been part of 9 clubs, I vowed never to get involved at committee level. And then Lamborghini Club a couple of years ago said to me, why don't you get involved at a membership level? Because you'd be great for our membership because so many people know you. And, when you put on an event, you get more Lamborghinis that we get at our own events. So you kind of have your own database of Lamborghini owners. So I'm like, that works for me. And I've kind of regretted it because there's so much politics involved. But then I've kind of enjoyed it as well, because pulling up to Geneva Motor Show, seeing Stefano Domenicali, the CEO, and saying, hi, Stefano, I'm the membership secretary. He goes, I know who you are. And I'm like, wow. I was just like, I wanted to film an interview with him. And he obviously had his interviews lined up, and he saw me there we had a mic at the time with one of our name badges on it. And he saw me waiting, and he said, 1 minute. And I was like, oh, okay. He's going to give us an interview. This is like a dream, interview him. And it was about the Hurricane Evo. And he just said, I know who you are. So now that kind of like being part of the committee and Lamborghini like helps, because, but you have to deal with the politics. But with petrol hedonism, we just keep it easy, and people want to come along, they come along. We were going to start driving events this year where we start at the hotel, have breakfast and drive somewhere, have lunch and see some kind of collection or something, but everything's changed with what's happened with COVID-19. I'm starting to drive in movie nights in 2 weeks' time. Did you get that? Drive-in movie.
You guys set up the drive-in movies.
Movies. So a friend of mine.
How are you setting that up?
So my friend's got a huge lorry, white lorries. He's got the box lorries, so we're going to stick that up at the top. And we've got the projector, we've got the sound system. We did one last year, and it was really good. We did the Fast and Furious 7 movie, One Last Ride, and it was the day that I sold my Corvette. So it was my last ride in my Corvette. So me and my eldest went, watched the movie, hosted it. It was great, but over here, if it's like sunset's 9:30, the sun goes down proper dark about 10:15. So you're not starting the movie till 10:15. You can't really get kids and families there. So it needs to be older crowds. So you need to be charging the right money. But we had a really good array of cars. So now with the lockdown lifting, I think we just heard 22nd of June, we can start serving food for outdoor areas. So we've got a big area. We can start serving food inside our grounds. If we could set up a drive-in movie setup and get about 50 cars there, that again, it's about diversifying. It's not about the car show so much. It's about selling food and drink. So that's where we make the sales on the hotel side of things, and obviously a small ticket charge for coming along and seeing the movie.
For the EBC program and stuff, where can guys actually go see that?
So it's mainly on the Facebook page. That's where what we've done as Car Nuts is become a production company, and we deal with all the posting of it and the distribution of it. So I think we just hit nearly 600,000 views on Facebook. YouTube's a bit different in terms of getting the numbers up. I think like if we post a video on YouTube, we've had about 300-400 views on that. But their Facebook page is strong, and on Instagram we break it down to the 1-minute video so they can boost it and promote it for them. And increase our one aim for EBC is to get their name out there. So if the next time you think you need brakes, you'll think EBC, whether it's because you've seen our video, or it's flashed up on your phone for any reason, you're thinking of them first before anybody else, or it makes you what's the word? Like you want to find out more about EBC. So through Facebook has been massive. They increase their following with every video we put out. They increase the engagement with every video we put out. And the same happens with Instagram as well. So it is on YouTube, but it's the latest episode isn't on YouTube yet. So I'll send you the link to the Facebook.
Super. Thank you so much for being on the show,
cool,
man. Yeah, this has been fun. When I come to the UK, we're gonna hook up. We're gonna drink some beer. And you take it for spins and supercars. There's no question about it, dude. But dude, it was great talking to you, man. Seriously, you're such an interesting guy. And all the best going forward with your events and stuff. And I'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, man. Look forward to it.
Okay, bro.
Take care.
Man.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.